Welcome back to Coffee Insanity. Today we're going to talk about RDT, roast development time, as it applies to the home roaster. Here's our RDT. Basically, when your first crack starts to the time you end or drop or cool. Oh wait, what's that sound? Oh, sounds like first crack starting. Oh, wait a minute. That's just my popcorn. This video is going to be so good, you're going to want to make some popcorn, sit back, relax, and watch it. So back to the roast development time. Here's a little scale down here. So if you have your yellowing phase, that takes 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And here's your Maillard or brown phase, which takes about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So that total time would then be 9 minutes. And if you have right here, this would be 9 minutes when the first crack starts. If that happens, then you would want to, if you want a 20% RDT, you'd want to end the roast at 11:15. That will give you a 20%. And if you end it at 12 minutes, that'll give you 25%. Let's take a look at another one. You're probably starting to understand how to get your RDT. So here we got 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, which equals 11. And if you wanted 20, 25%, these are the numbers you're going for. But what does RDT mean? Like, why do you want different percents? This is where most of your flavor development occurs, which is the roast development time. Yes, this is important. Yes, this is important as well, but we're not going to get into that. We want to just kind of stick to trying to figure out how to get this number, what it is. So this is important because most of your flavor profile will happen in this general time frame. This is the critical time frame where even 10 to 15 seconds can make a big difference in how your coffee turns out, how it tastes. So let's take a look at how to calculate or get your RDT using a little time calculator from the internet. It is now time to calculate your RDT using a time to percent calculator. Time 1, we want to have the total time of roast development. So we had 11 minutes where the first crack started, and if we want 20%, that would be 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So we put in 2 minutes, 45, and now for this number, we want the total amount of time for the roast. So that would be 13:45, because you want a percent of the entire time. So if you click calculate, it should be 20, and there's your 20%. So that's how you calculate your RDT, which would be, the time would be 2 minutes 45 seconds, which would translate into 20%. It's now time to sum it up. If you're yellow and the Maillard at 4 minutes 30 seconds, 4 minutes 30 seconds, and this is something you should always try and aim for. Generally, is you want these two numbers to be as close together as possible. You would want to end the roast at 11 minutes 15 seconds or 12 minutes if the first crack starts at 9 minutes. First crack starts at 10, you want to end it at 12:30, 13:20, and 11 minutes, 13:45, 14:40. And let's go check out a quick cheat sheet. So now let's take a look at our RDT cheat sheet. This is something I keep right next to my roaster while I roast, a quick reference. Okay, so let's take a look at this RDT cheat sheet. Okay, so here's for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are generally numbers you want to try and shoot for your first crack to start at. And so if I'm aiming to get 20%, let's say it starts at 12 minutes, then I know, okay, at 15 minutes, I will go ahead and drop the roast or start cooling the beans. And if I want something a little darker, I can drop it at 16 minutes. And keep in mind too, these numbers are more not really for the fruity roast. If I did something that I want more acidity or more fruity, those type of flavors, I would definitely have something lower than 20%. In my opinion, I like those fruity roasts at a much lower RDT. But these are just in general from, this is what Scott Rao recommends. He likes his coffees in this range.
So most of my coffees, I agree, I do like my coffees in this range. Unless I'm going fruity, then I like to have my RDT much lower than 20%. And here's what I keep right above my roaster, or right next to it, is this little tiny cheat sheet. So if I know it starts at 8 minutes, this is where I want to have my end time for 20% and for 25%, so I can adjust based on these numbers. It's just a quick way for me to know, okay, if the first crack starts at 11 minutes, then I know to go ahead and use one of these numbers depending on how light of a roast I want or how dark of a roast I want to end my roast.
Well, I hope this video helps you calculate RDT and gives you a little cheat sheet to help you roast some delicious cups of coffee. Well, speaking of delicious, it's time to go watch, of course, coffee videos and have some of my delicious popcorn. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Now, go out there and have yourself some delicious cups of coffee. I want to give a shout out to David Linzangen. He's the one that created my Coffee Insanity image at the beginning. So appreciate that. Thank you, David. If anyone wants some nice digital artwork, just send a message and I'll give you his info.